Hi, everybody. All the very, very best to you. Maybe you find yourself in need of prayer today. If so, just post your prayer requests right there in the comments section, and we will be praying for you. I'll consider it an honor to do so. Today, we're going to continue a series based on a brand new book I wrote based on the life of Esther. It's called You Were Made for This Moment. You were made for this moment. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the remarkable story of Esther, I'd like to invite you to my free online Bible study. It begins on October the 25th. You can learn more and you can sign up at maxlucado.com. Today we're going to talk about someone who was made for his moment. Less than a week after Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white passenger, Martin Luther King became president of the Montgomery Improvement Association of Montgomery, Alabama. Upon Reverend King's appointment, he immediately began receiving death threats. One phone call in particular left him unnerved. He described the call in a speech. Later in his life, when he recounted, on the other end was an ugly voice, and that voice said to me in substance, "We're tired of you. We're tired of your mess, and if you aren't out of this town in 3 days, well, we're going to blow your brains out and blow up your house." King was shaken. He had to step into his kitchen to regather his thoughts. There he considered the safety of his beautiful wife, his precious little girl. He imagined the rage of the caller that awaited him, the rage that awaited him in the streets. He questioned whether the effort was worth the risk. What about you? Have you ever found yourself in a hard place, really shaken, uprooted by your situation, when the downsizing has been declared, when the division and the judgment proliferate, when the account has no cash, when the marriage has no joy, when the crib is empty, when the grave is occupied? You know, if we look to Scripture, we find a story that encourages us in these unwelcome, winterish situations. Early in the book of Esther, Mordecai and Esther are in an impossible place. They were Jewish cousins, you'll remember, living in Persia. They concealed their Jewish identity to adapt to the Persian way of living. So far, the plan seemed to be working out. Mordecai landed a job at the king's palace, and as you well know, Esther became queen of Persia. All was going well until the news came. A royal decree was sent out to all the provinces stating that the Jewish people were to be killed. Mordecai sent Esther a copy of the extermination orders. He urged her to reach out to her husband, the king. Esther responded with her reasons to stay silent. Number one, it is against the law, and it's been a long time since the king gave me so much as a second look. He's probably in a foul mood for sure. He'll probably kill me. Mordecai gave her reservations some thought. And then he sent a message with what are some of the most profound observations that you'll ever read in the Bible. Yes, Mordecai the Jew became Mordecai the theologian. He said these famous words: "Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." That's in Esther 4:13 and 14. This was the message of Mordecai. Relief is coming. Relief is coming. God will have His victory. He will rescue His people. The question is not, will God prevail? The question is, will you be part of the team? Esther's response to Mordecai's challenge was significant. She told him, now go and gather all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. And when this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. What happened? What happened? What moved Esther from I can't do anything to I'm willing to lose everything? What took her from if I go, I'll perish to if I perish, I perish? It had to be the straightforward message of Mordecai. Mordecai opened a window and shed a divine light into Esther's world. You're here for a reason, he essentially said. Your life is part of a plan. You were placed here on purpose, for a purpose. So were you, my friend. So were you. You, like Esther, were made for this moment. Now, to be clear, you did not ask for this struggle. You want to get past it, maybe hurry past it. You don't know how much longer you can hold up. But what if God is in this? What if you, like Esther, have an opportunity to act in a way that will bless more people and do more good than you could ever imagine? Friend, this is your hour. This is your moment. You were made to stand up like Mordecai. You were made to speak up like Esther. Your challenge is an opportunity to join God in His work. Dr. King realized this truth. Though the future was uncertain, though fear was knocking at his door, Dr. King followed Esther's lead. He bowed his head. He asked God for help. When recalling his prayer, he said, and it seemed at that moment that I could hear an inner voice saying to me, Martin, stand up. Stand up for righteousness. Stand up for justice. Stand up for truth. And lo, I will be with you even until the end of the world. And freshly fortified, King continued the work, leaving his mark on what is arguably the most prominent movement of the 20th century. Each of our lives intersects with opportunities in which we can come alongside the work of God. We won't speak to a Persian king. Very few will lead a movement of liberty. But heaven will offer each one of us, without exception, the privilege of participating in God's holy work. When your invitation comes, my friend, may you hear the same spirit that Reverend King heard, find the same courage that Esther found, and make the same decision that Mordecai made. Relief will come. May God help you and me to be a part of it. Yes, my friend, you were made for this moment.